Now, what are the consequences? Just recall what are the consequences of the reconstitution. Your existing agreement comes to an end and a new agreement comes into existence. And does the firm continues or the firm comes to an end? Firm continues in the case of a reconstitution, and there is always a change in profit sharing ratio. Whenever there is a change in the agreement, profit sharing ratio is definitely going to change. Now, just recall what are the events when the reconstitution take place. Just try to recall. First, when there is a change in profit sharing ratio amongst the existing partners, there is no new admission, no partner goes, the same partners remains, but they change their profit sharing ratio. And another event can be admission of a new partner. A new partner is being admitted. Today, we are going to start with the chapter admission of a new partner. And the third case of reconstitution is retirement, and then death of a partner. And the last case of reconstitution is amalgamation. Fine. So we have these 4 chapters in our course: change in PSR, admission, retirement, and death. As I told you, these cases are under the topic reconstitution. So most concepts are same. So I have taken the concepts which are same for all the chapters so that you have a broader view of what we are going to study. Fine. So today, but we are going to start with the chapter admission, and this the last event of reconstitution, amalgamation. This is not there in your course, but you should know that in case of amalgamation, reconstitution takes place. Fine. Now, in the normal course, what happens when the year end, the new at the year end, a balance sheet is prepared, and the same balance sheet is carried forward to the next year. But at the time of reconstitution, and the reconstitution in your case, in your course, it will always take place on at the end of the year, that is 31st March. Fine. Though it can take place during the year, but in your course, it is 31st March. You will always get the case of reconstitution, whether it is admission, retirement, or death. It will take place on 31st March 2019. Fine. There are 5 accounting treatments. Every chapter, we are going to discuss 5 accounting treatments. Just try to recall. We have discussed that. First, change in profit sharing ratio. There is going to be a change in profit sharing ratio. So we have to find out the change, and we have to find out the gain and the sacrifice of the partners. Then we have to value the goodwill and do the accounting treatment of the goodwill. Valuation we have discussed. We have to see the accounting treatment of reserves, profits and losses, and then we have to prepare revaluation of assets, that is revaluation account, and then last is the capital adjustment. Fine. So in this chapter also, we are going to discuss these 5 accounting treatments. Goodwill valuation part we have discussed. Now we will be discussing the accounting treatment in each and every chapter, as the valuation part remains the same for all the chapters. We have discussed the methods of valuation: average profit, simple average profit, then weighted average, super profit method, capitalization of average profit method, and capitalization of super profit method. Fine. We have discussed the accounting treatment of reserves, accumulated profits and losses. We'll be discussing again and again in every chapter so that your concepts are strengthened. You don't commit mistake, and you have an overall view of the unit. General reserve, let's recall. What do we do with the general reserve? General reserve is for general purpose. So it will always be on the date of reconstitution, it will always be distributed amongst the old partners in their old profit sharing ratio. You always have to remember it is distributed amongst the which partners? Old partners. In which ratio? Old ratio. And specific reserves are for a special purpose, like workman compensation reserve, investment fluctuation reserve is there to give compensation to employees or to compensate the decrease in the value of investments. Fine. To the extent not used, it is distributed amongst the old partners in which ratio? Old ratio. Fine. We have to remember this every time. These reserves have to be distributed in which ratio? They have to be distributed in old ratio. Fine. Example I've already given. And one thing very important you have to remember, employees provident fund is not a reserve. We'll be seeing the questions also. Then we have discussed preparation of revaluation account. So these three concepts, valuation of goodwill, treatment of reserves, and revaluation account is common for all the events of reconstitution. That is why we have discussed it in a broader way, and then we'll be taking it in each and every chapter. Fine. So revaluation, any increase in the value of the asset is my gain. All the gains that make you happy are recorded on the credit side. And the basic rule of accounting also goes like this. We credit all our incomes. We credit all our gains and debit all our losses. Fine. And just to so that you don't commit mistake, just remember this: whatever makes you happy, whatever gains always make you happy. So all the gains have to be recorded on the credit side and all the losses are to be recorded on the debit side. We have discussed revaluation account in detail in the last class, and now we will be taking it up in each and every chapter again. Now we are going to start first, though in the reconstitution we have, if you see in the book, the unit starts with valuation of goodwill, then change in PSR, and then admission. We have done valuation of goodwill, and after that we are taking admission of a partner, admission of a new partner into the firm. Change in profit sharing ratio amongst the existing partners, that we will take after this. Fine. Now, why there is a need for admission of a new partner? Why a new partner is being admitted? That can be due to the financial motive, or we want to avail the expertise of the new partner. Suppose A, B, and C are partners in a firm. Fine. They want to expand their business, but they cannot introduce more capital into the firm. They have their own restrictions. So what they can do if they want to expand their business? They can enter a new partner. They can take a new partner into their firm who will bring more capital. That capital can be utilized for the expansion. Or it can be, there is a chartered accountant firm, partnership firm. Fine. They want to have a chartered accountant who has an expertise in GST. So what they will do? They will take a new chartered accountant into they will take a new partner into their firm who has an expertise over the GST. Fine. So this is the reason why a new partner is being admitted into a partnership firm. Now, how can a new partner be admitted? Since partnership is being governed by the Partnership Act 1932, so Section 31 says that if it is mentioned in the partnership deed that the new partner, whenever required, a new partner can be admitted into the partnership, they can. And if it is not mentioned, all of the partners have to agree for the admission. And then what are the rights? If a new partner is being admitted, what are the rights acquired by a new partner? He gets the right to share the profits. Fine. So whenever a new partner, whosoever joins the firm, the first right that he's going to acquire is he's going to get the share in the profits. Obviously, losses are always implied with that. Fine. And then he right to share in the assets of the firm. Suppose after he joins, after a few years, the business is closed down and the assets are being sold. He will get the right to have the share in those assets sold. So at the time of admission, he get two rights: right to share the profits of the firm and right to share in the assets of the firm. Now, how does he acquire those rights? For share in the assets, he is going to bring capital. Fine. Every partner or every owner of the firm or a sole proprietorship has to bring the capital. And now he's getting also the share in the profits, which was being shared earlier by the old partners. So they are foregoing their share in favor of him. So to compensate those partners, he is going to bring premium for goodwill. Goodwill of the firm will be valued on the date of admission, and he will bring his own share, which will be distributed amongst the old partners. Fine. So to get the right to share profits of the firm, he is bringing premium for goodwill, and to share the assets of the firm, he will bring capital. Fine. Capital he is bringing to get the share in the assets, and premium for goodwill he is bringing to get the share in the profits of the firm. And this can be in cash or kind. It's not necessary that he will bringing the capital or premium for goodwill in cash only. It can be through any other asset also. He must be having a running business. So his business might be merged with that is a sole proprietorship business. His business might be merged with this running partnership firm. So he might bring all the assets of his previous business. Fine. So these are the rights, and for these rights, he is going to bring capital and premium for goodwill. We are not mentioning the word goodwill, children, here, because accounting standard 26 says that goodwill is not to be raised. Now, this goodwill we are talking about is the self-generated goodwill of the firm, of the hard work of the previous partners. So we are not mentioning the word goodwill, simple goodwill, because of the accounting standard 26, which we have discussed earlier. Fine. Now, suppose same case I'm taking. This is the balance sheet of A, B, and C. Fine. Now, D is being admitted into partnership on 31st March 2019. Now, the same balance sheet. Now, on 1st April, the partnership, this firm will have 4 partners. So, on 1st April, I have to show 4 partners in this balance sheet: A, B, C, and D. Fine. He will be bringing capital. I will increase the capital amount. Fine. But what will happen to the other assets and liabilities? They will not be carried as it is to the new balance sheet on 1st April 2019. We will have to change, we will have to make certain changes in this balance sheet on 31st March 2019, or whatever may be the year. Fine. So there are few accounting treatments to be done on 31st March itself. Fine. We have discussed those 5 treatments, what are to be done. After doing those accounting treatments only, we have to, so you will be given the balance sheet before the reconstitution. You will be asked to prepare a new balance sheet after the reconstitution. So in between, you have to make 5 accounting treatments, and you have to learn those 5 accounting treatments. Fine. So we will be recalling the concepts that we have discussed, plus we will be taking up the new concepts for this chapter. Now, again, the same thing, we have to do 5 accounting treatments on the date of admission. Whenever a new partner is admitted, we have to do 5 accounting treatments before we carry forward this balance sheet to next year. So you all know, we have discussed right now what are those accounting treatments. Let us recall. Try to recall, then I'll show you the accounting treatments. First, yes, first will be, we have to find out the new profit sharing ratio and sacrificing ratio. Fine. Here, new partner is automatically gaining. He is not, fine. And the remaining partners are foregoing their share in favor of the new partner. So we have to find out the new profit sharing of all the partners and the sacrificing ratio of the old partners. And the second thing is valuation of goodwill. We have discussed. We have to discuss the accounting treatment of that valued goodwill. That what is to be done with the self-generated goodwill of the firm that we have valued. And the third is what will happen to the reserves that were appearing on the balance sheet. Find all types of reserves, accumulated profits and losses. Though we have discussed, they are to be distributed amongst the old partners in old ratio. And then we have to prepare revaluation account to know the profit or loss on account of revaluation of assets and liabilities. This also we have discussed. Fine. So the new concepts have been written in black, and the treatments that we have discussed, though we'll be discussing it again, but fine. So these concepts will be recalled, and these are the new concepts that will be discussed. Fine. So you have to pay attention to the new concepts. Now we have to calculate the new profit sharing, the first accounting treatment. The first thing that we have to do at the time of reconstitution is we have to find out the new profit sharing ratio and the sacrificing ratio of the partners. Now, what is sacrificing ratio? Sacrificing ratio is the ratio. You can be asked to define this also, sometimes sacrificing ratio and gaining ratio. So sacrificing ratio is the ratio in which the old partners forego. That is, they sacrifice their share of profits in favor of new or the incoming partner. How do we calculate sacrifice ratio? Old share minus new share. And it should always be positive. Remember this, it should always be positive. As his old share was higher than the new share, that is why it is sacrifice. If his new share is greater than the old share, it will be a gain for him. Fine. So always remember, sacrifice we calculate by old minus new, and old ratio should always be greater than the new share. Now, why there is a need for calculating the sacrificing ratio? We need to calculate the sacrificing ratio because the premium for goodwill that the new partner is bringing, that has to be distributed amongst the old partners in their sacrificing ratio. That means the ratio in which they are foregoing their share. If A and B are partners and C is being admitted, that means A and B are sacrificing some share, some of their share in favor of C. Fine. So C is going to bring to compensate A and B for their loss. He is bringing premium for goodwill, and that premium for goodwill will be distributed amongst A and B in the ratio in which they are sacrificing their share. So that is why we need to calculate sacrificing ratio. Otherwise, all the reserves, revaluation account profit is being distributed in old profit sharing ratio. Fine. So sacrificing ratio is required to distribute premium for goodwill brought by the new partner to compensate their loss. So when there is a change in PSR also, we are going to calculate the sacrificing ratio. And when a new partner is admitted, this is the current case we are discussing. Fine. So when a new partner is admitted, now, this is the whole profit of the firm. Fine. I have divided this into 8 parts, just like a pizza. It seems like a pizza. Fine. Now, see, A, B, and C are partners sharing profits in the ratio of 3:3:2. Fine. So, A was getting 3 shares, B was getting 3 shares of this whole pizza, and C was getting 2 shares. Now, on 31st March 2020, D is admitted as a new partner and they decided to share the profits equally. That means this 8 portions now will be divided equally amongst the partners. So each partner, 8 divided by 4, each partner will be getting 2 portions each. So what has happened? As D is admitted into the partnership firm, their new profit sharing ratio has changed. It has become 1:1:1:1. Fine. And what has happened? Has the share of A changed? Yes. Has the share of A changed? Earlier he was getting 3 portions. Now he is getting 2 portions. That means he has sacrificed 1 share in favor of D. Similarly, B was also getting 3 shares earlier. He has also sacrificed 1 share in favor of D. But there is no change in the share of C. He was getting 2 shares earlier before reconstitution. Fine. And later on also, after D is being admitted, he is getting 2 shares. So every partner is now getting 2 shares. So our new profit sharing ratio is 2 is to 2 is to, sorry, 1 is to 1 is to 1. And our sacrificing ratio is 1 is to 1. That is by A and B. This I have just taken a simple case to explain you that how the sacrifice is being taking place and how a new partner, with the admission of new partner, the profit sharing ratio is going to change. Now we have to see the cases, all the cases, how to calculate the new profit sharing ratio or how to calculate the sacrificing ratio. So we will be taking each case one by one. What is new profit sharing ratio? New profit sharing is the ratio in which the new partners are going to share the profits of the firm. Now, how a new partners acquire, this is very important, that how he acquires his share. As we saw in the previous example, D got 2 portions of the pizza, one from A and one from B. C did not sacrifice anything. So, whenever a new partner is being admitted, he is going to, the old partners are going to sacrifice their share in favor of new partner. So, how he is going to acquire his share, this has to be read very carefully. Fine. One thing is they are sacrificing their share, they are sacrificing in their old profit sharing ratio itself. Fine. So we'll see the example for each and every case. Fine. Or they may be sacrificing in a particular ratio. Like in the previous case, A and B were sacrificing in the ratio of 1 is to 1 to give 2 portions to D. Or it can be in a particular fraction. We can say that A sacrificed, he was earlier getting 3 share and he sacrificed 1. That means he's sacrificed 1/3. He sacrificed 1/3 of his share. So it is given in fractions. So this has to be read carefully, in which how the new partner is acquiring his share or how the old partners are sacrificing in favor of new partner. So let's see the first case of new profit sharing ratio. Suppose A and B are partners sharing profits in the ratio of 3 is to 2. They admitted C as a new partner. This is the case which is very commonly given in most of the questions. Fine. So they admitted C as a new partner for 1/5 share. You have to calculate the new profit sharing. Right now, we are discussing only new profit sharing ratio. Once we are through with new profit sharing ratio, then we'll discuss sacrificing ratio. Fine. Now, what will happen? Nothing is given. How is C acquiring his share or how A and B are sacrificing? So, we assume in this case that they are sacrificing in their old profit sharing ratio itself. Fine. So, how do we calculate the new share? And as they are sacrificing in their old profit sharing ratio, so what will happen? The remaining C share is 1/5. The whole out of the whole profits, C will be given 1/5 share of the profits. Fine. So now the total profits are not available for A and B. 1/5 has been given to C. So what is the remaining share? This is basically the calculation of new profit sharing ratio and sacrificing ratio is a revision of fractions which you did in class 5th and 6th. But a few things have to be just taken care of. So what is the remaining share? 1 minus 1/5. Out of the whole, I have given 1/5 to C. So the firm is left with 4/5 of the profits, which will be distributed now between A and B in their old profit sharing ratio. So A will get 3/5 of, 3/5 was his old share, 3/5 of 4/5. That is 12 by 25. And B will get 2/5 of 4/5, that is remaining share. So his share is 8 by 25. So what will be our new profit sharing ratio? It will be 12 is to 8 is to 5. If I put all this in, all these fraction, A's share, B's share, and C's share. So what will be my new profit sharing ratio? The denominator is 25. It will be 12 is to 8 is to 5. So this is how, if we are simply given the first case, when we are simply given new partner's share and nothing else is mentioned, we are going to calculate the new profit sharing like this. And we will see that the sacrificing ratio is always, because we are assuming that they are sacrificing their share, they are sacrificing in favor of new partner in their old ratio, and their profit sharing ratio in future will remain the same. Fine. So sacrificing ratio will be 3:2, and new profit sharing ratio will be calculated like this. Remaining share will be distributed amongst A and B in their old profit sharing ratio.